Look at the numbers on the scoring drive. The one little chink in the good success today for Clemson. They've not been able to score touchdowns since that opening turnover produced the Priester touchdown. Nelson Welch with a couple of field goals, but Maryland remains 2 touchdowns away from the lead. So there is still a chance to turn this game around for the Terrapins, but Clemson's defense will still try and keep that shutout going.
Jeff Sauvé, the junior from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, on the kick for the Tigers. And Jermaine Stewart has it in the end zone. Former wide receiver, heads upfield. And he's hit hard. Hemphill and Matt Reeves come in to make the tackle for the Clemson Tigers. It's a return of about 23 yards. And Milanovic is back on the field. Foley having thrown the interception earlier. Milanovic has one to his credit. And the Maryland Terrapins looking to get vertical. As Jack said, they're still within striking range. We still have 2:23 left here in the third quarter.
And they had a good drive. The interception came at the Clemson goal line. So they want to build upon that from their last possession. Mons Wilson is in the ball game as one of the inside linebackers for Clemson. Play action for Milanovic on 1st and 10. Covers up and heads upfield. Good coverage by Clemson as he gets out to the 27-yard line. Gain of 5. Lewis Usher in on the tackle. The latter part of the third period. See the third possession of the second half. So Clemson spelling some of their first-team guys. So guys like Mound and Usher are in the ball game. Changes in the secondary as well. I see Andre Humphrey out there. And Leamon Evans playing at safety. He's been battling dizziness.
Forney, White, and Williams as they're down 3. Milanovic rolls left. Big rush comes on at the last minute by Wilson, and he throws it out of bounds. Milanovic got rid of it. And so the Terps find themselves stranded on 3rd down.
West with a little grin on his face. He was lobbying hard on the sidelines for intentional grounding, but Mansell Johnson was certainly in the area of the throw out of bounds by Scott Milanovic.
Wind started to pick up here around Death Valley, and it's going to be right in the face of Scott Milanovic on 3rd down and 7. Trailing 13-0 and scrambling from Wardell Rouse. The pass complete to Mansell Johnson, but it's shy of the first down at the 29. A gain of only 3. There's the breeze as it blows in the face of the Maryland Terrapins here in the 3rd. But reminder, they'll have that at their back in the 4th as Milanovic gets set to punt it away.
About the 4th or 5th 3-and-out on the day for Maryland, something they had very rarely in '93. Got the block down, it looks like, Steve.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. Now they peel back to protect Dexter McLean. McLean calls for the fair catch and wisely gets out of the way. Down at the 33-yard line, and that's where Clemson will take over. Clemson's defense this afternoon has forced Maryland to 3 downs and out, 1 2 times. They've thrown an interception after 1 3-play series. Maryland trailing 13-0. The Rock in pretty good hands this afternoon.
A couple of future Tigers maybe up there.
We'd like to spend Saturday afternoon with the pads on, touching that rock as they come into the stadium. Frank Howard said, "You can touch my rock. Pledge to give 110%. If you don't, get your filthy hands off." James Jenkins, the fullback. No gain down inside, and let's go to the sidelines and Mike Ogway.
During that last series, Solomon on the bench was told by Rick Stockstill to watch the 25-second clock. It's time to keep an eye on that now. You may have noticed the last series when he walked up to the line, he just stood there. He's been told to not even take the snap until it gets under 5 seconds. They want to use as much clock as they can now.
This defense is to keep the Maryland offense off the field. For that very reason, Solomon now looking at 2nd and 10. Pass to throw. Sprints out on the corner. Throws a nice pass to Marcus Hinton, completed the 40-yard line for the first down. Jermaine Stewart knocks him out. Hinton with his 8th catch of the year and his first today.
Tell you what, if you've never tried this, it's hard to appreciate how difficult it is to run to your left, throw across your body, and get something on the ball like Louis Solomon did there to find Hinton in the midst of the zone coverage to get a Clemson first down.
Hinton, the junior out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Handoff goes to Jenkins, and Jenkins has his nicest run of the day out over the 46-yard line to the 47. Ratcliffe Thomas with the tackle, and that'll be it for the third quarter of play. Clemson making yards, and they'd like to add to what is now a 13-0 lead after 3.
Football means tailgate parties, and tailgate parties mean Food Lion. Their quality foods make every party a winner, because each week, Pepsi and Food Lion are giving away 5 tailgate party packages of 4 ACC football tickets and a $50 Food Lion gift certificate. Enter at the Pepsi display. Grand prize is the classic Jeep Cherokee Sport with 4-wheel drive and legendary Jeep toughness. Nothing beats football, food, and tailgate parties, and nobody beats Food Lion for quality and extra low prices.
Here in the Outback, we play our own brand of football. Outback rules. No sidelines. No time limits. No telling which way the boomerang will bounce. Just the ultimate goal. Great steak. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Wild Dunes, South Carolina's premier oceanfront golf resort. Located just 15 miles from Charleston via the newly opened Isle of Palms connector, Wild Dunes offers 2 spectacular golf courses designed by Tom Fazio. The world-ranked links course hugs the Atlantic Ocean, while the challenging harbor course borders the intercoastal waterway. Wild Dunes customized golf packages start at just $69. Call today for more information and reservations. Wild Dunes, Charleston's Island Resort.
People stopping by.
More and more people are stopping by for Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for a gasoline that controls deposits on valves and keeps your engine's fuel system clean.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for smooth acceleration and the full 93 octane of Exxon 93 Supreme.
People stopping by.
And don't forget, cash and credit prices are now the same.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. Our Exxon ACC Game of the Week from Jefferson Pilot Sports. Clemson leading 13-0. 2 Nelson Welch field goals, a Raymond Priester touchdown in the first quarter. And they're working on throwing a shutout at Maryland for the 2nd straight year and getting their first ACC win of the season. 2nd down now for Clemson and 4. They're in their own territory at the 47. Busted play. And Louis Solomon hangs on, but wait. Got a flag on the play.
Trevor Putnam started to snap it and put it back, and can't do that, Trevor.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Let's take a look at our Lee Apparel game summary after 3 quarters. Look at that rushing yardage.
It's not
only Clemson's, but Maryland's.
It's not going to change much now for Maryland. Down 2 touchdowns. They're going to have to throw almost every down here in this 4th period.
Tommy West has got to be pleased being able to establish the run here today. Solomon with a deep drop. Looked like he wanted to set up a screen and scrambles to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And guess what? Jamie Bragg is playing defense. And we've got another Maryland player down. That's Aaron Henney. Of course, they are shorthanded on the defensive line. There's Jamie Bragg. He's going at center again because Eric Greenstein might have broken his left arm. And Bragg's still taking his turns out there on the defensive front as well.
It's Bragg's leadership that's quite important to this defensive unit, and they need it now with Raphael Wall, a senior who's out of the lineup for this afternoon. This is a very young, it's a developing unit, as we've said. They've done a good job to hold Clemson out of the end zone and force them to take 2 field goals after getting close, but they're starting to spend a little bit too much time on the field. Bragg comes over to get a rest.
Well, 3rd and long, they're going to put a fresher body in to try and put pressure on, but this is the biggest play of the ball game for Maryland right now. They cannot allow Clemson to sustain a drive. They're just running out of time. 3rd and 9 here. They have to throw a stop.
At their own 41-yard line, here comes Solomon, forced inside by Wallace, and Jermaine Stewart comes up to make the stop at the 44. Conservative gain of 3, and it brings the punt unit on. So Maryland holds, and they'll get the football back with the wind at their back, and Nelson Welch getting set to kick it away.
See what this ball does into the wind off of the foot of Nelson Welch. If he gets it high, it'll not go very far. If he hits it low, you get a better chance of returning.
So Welch has kicked the 30, or 50 rather. Buys the line drive and squelches the return, even though he doesn't pin them inside the 20. Gets it out to the 30-yard line, so Nelson Welch does the job, and that's where Maryland will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Scott Milanovich getting the call.
I think because Milanovich is not quite as mobile as Foley, you will continue to see the blitz package from the Clemson defense, perhaps even more of the blitz package.
Milanovich and Foley have each tossed interceptions on the day. Clemson has cashed in each of the 3 turnovers to score. 1st and 10. Milanovich with play action. Cross in his face. The pass complete to Alan Williams. And Williams is wrestled down by Brian Dawkins after a 7-yard gain to the 37-yard line.
Clemson getting an excellent push up the middle from people like Warren Forney, forcing Milanovich to throw it to his back. You can see Forney right there just fighting his way through. Tim Jones and Brian Dawkins on the stop. First play back to Jones after the knee problem. Just a blitz.
Stevens is right there to flatten Scott Milanovich at the 27-yard line. A loss of 10.
Now there's the frustration for the Maryland coaches. Darnell Stevens shows this blitz to the backside, but Scott Milanovich never saw it until it was too late. Again, Miles Aldridge and the Clemson defensive staff deciding, hey, we've got good defenders one-on-one in the secondary since they don't have Jermaine Lewis. We're going to blitz more, and it's paying off.
3rd sack of the day for the Clemson defense. 3rd and a lot. Pass is complete to Walt Williams. Williams the Jake tackler. Gets out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 10. Brian Dawkins in on the play.
12:31 to go in the game. Big call here for Mark Duffner. It's 4th and 1. You're well in your own territory, shy of the 40-yard line. Do you risk it? He is not. He is going to punt the ball away.
He figures that Milanovich can get some air under this punt Clemson deep, and figuring Clemson being conservative, maybe trying to protect the lead, he'll get the ball back in good position.
Well, now they've changed it. Now they've got their jumbo offense in with Brian Cummings at quarterback.
That's Richard Roberts.
Oh, it is Roberts. You're right.
Roberts came in last week, similar circumstance. So Maryland, to change of heart, will decide to go for it. Roberts stretches ahead. He may have it.
Clemson called timeout before the snap. Mark Duffner is out on the field saying, how could that be? There's Tim Barber trying to, Mike Barber, excuse me, trying to call timeout. It clearly was done before the snap of the ball.
So we've got a timeout on the field, and Mark Duffner wonders if his team can catch a break, trailing 13-0 and looking at 4th down.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice
Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Power, BC Power.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief.
Power, BC Power.
No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC.
BC Power in the powder. The power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC Powder stops pain fast.
The power of BC.
The big tough Mazda trucks, available with 3 powerful engine options, including a 4.0-liter V6. The Mazda B2300 SE is loaded with these standard features. And right now, with Mazda savings on the spot, you can get it all for $169 a month for 36 months with $500 down. So see your Mazda dealer now, because we make exceptional trucks affordable. Lease a B2300 SE for $169 a month with $500 down.
Back at Clemson, Maryland looking at a 4th down and 1. Clemson had called timeout on their jumbo offense, so they decide to bring Scott Milanovic back into the ballgame. Mark Duffner allowing to change the call now that Clemson's had a chance to talk it over. Big play in this game, the biggest so far. Maryland trying to keep their drive alive. Milanovic rolls out to throw. He wants a safe pattern. Rouse boxes him in. Will he get the first down? It's close. Looks like he's got it if they give him a spot.
They have him spotted over the 40-yard line, and it is a first down.
What a scramble by Scott Milanovic.
That was not the drawn-up play. No question about that one.
Looked like they wanted something safe from either G-Roy Simon or Mansell Johnson. They didn't get it. Milanovic wisely scrambled his way, picked his way through the defense to get back to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10. Now we have a whistle and a stoppage of play.
Huddle clock was down to 7, but well, they hadn't started the game clock after the first down.
So it's first down again. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Simon moving across the formation, now back to his original position in the slot. Clemson showed blitz, backed off it. Johnson drops it. Lewis Usher in the vicinity, along with Dexter McLean. Our Exxon ACC Game of the Week next Saturday. Georgia Tech travels to Chapel Hill to play the 18th-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina. Jackets are looking to spoil North Carolina's ACC home opener. That's next week, game time 12 noon on most of these same ACC stations. 4th quarter action here at Clemson. Steve Martin along with Jack Corrigan and Mike Hogwood. 2nd down and 10 coming from Milanovic. Has a man open. It is Mansell Johnson complete. And he's got it at the 43-yard line of Clemson. It's a 16-yard gain for Mansell Johnson.
The deep bench route, Mansell Johnson breaking free. This is not easy for a quarterback. I mean, you're talking, it's a gain of about 17, but it's a throw of about 40.
1st and 10, Maryland and Clemson territory. Scott Milanovic has thrown an interception, as you can see. Pass is complete. This time to Walt Williams. Little gainer marked down at the 39-yard line, a gain of 4. Andre Humphrey comes up with a tackle for Clemson. Williams, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Big shoes to fill today with Jermaine Lewis out with a shoulder separation.
Bring Eric Henry back into the ball game as the inside of the slot receivers. He's the tight end.
Yeomon Evans is out there playing center field in his first action of the season after sitting out with dizzy spells early on. Here's Milanovic to throw again. It is no. Henry dropped it. He had a step on Mike Barber.
Well, the frustration for Scott Milanovic as he has his tight end Eric Henry wide open for first down yardage and more. Eric committed that basic error by receivers. Watch his head as he turns to run upfield before he catches this ball. So he'd already decided, well, he actually just double clutched it right from the beginning. Scott can't believe it.
Third down and 6. Maryland trailing 13-0. Clemson with an all-out blitz, and Rouse is there. Wardell Rouse and the big freshman from Clinton, Mississippi, Raymond White. Flatten Milanovic.
So that's the one thing, Steve, that you don't always see in stats. I mean, when you look at the stats tomorrow, they'll just show the number of completions and incompletions for Scott Milanovic. But this sack is a result of the drop pass from the previous down. They would have had it 1st and 10. Instead, it's 3rd and long, and he gets sacked.
4th and 14 coming up, and Milanovic is in punt formation. 4th sack of the day for the Clemson defense. And Milanovic kicks it out of the end zone. 1st and 10 for Clemson at the 20 as the Tigers take over. A 48-yard kick. Crowd cheers the defensive effort as they stop Maryland after their best-looking drive of the day. And it's still 13-0, Clemson in the lead. Mark Duffner now sees time shrink and hopes that his depleted forces, especially on defense, can hold on now.
Well, they are an emotional team like their coach, and you wonder if they're a little emotionally spent after the last couple of weeks.
Solomon with a pitch to Antoine Wyatt. Angel Guerra up to break up the play, fighting off the block of Marcus Hinton. Driven out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Wade Inge and Jamal Webster come up to finish him off.
Maryland has been on an emotional roller coaster on this year. They've had the loss to Duke in the opener. Played a great first half against Florida State and then got buried in the second half. The victory on the road at West Virginia and at home against Wake Forest, but a struggle today here in Death Valley.
2nd and 8. Solomon keeps. Gets by Guerra. And Thomas brings it down at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 8. Should be good enough for the first down.
Fans thought it was a late hit, but actually the ball was on the ground. Tim Foskey was trying to come up with the fumble, or what he thought was a fumble, but of course the ground cannot cause a fumble. You could see that Maryland secondary trying to decide, is Solomon going to pitch it or keep it? And right there the ball pops out. See, it's loose, and that's why Foskey came running in. And now Angel Guerra, I don't know if he got cramps or something, falls down in the Maryland defensive huddle, and we've got another stop and play.
Guerra is a walk-on to transfer from Lenoir-Rhyne in Hickory, North Carolina. He hails, though, from the greater Baltimore-Washington area, Manassas, Virginia.
Look at that. Because of the sacks on the day, Maryland with no yards rushing. Clemson going over 200 yards for the first time since their opener against 1AA Furman.
You know, that brings up the question, Jack, because Tommy West wants to get balance in his offense. He wants to be able to throw the football more, but he knows that maybe Louis Solomon isn't the ideal quarterback to do it. But Louis Solomon is the ideal quarterback to run what he wants done this afternoon. Do you filter Patrick Satt back in, or do you design more plays for Louis Solomon out of the option style attack? I think one thing is for sure, he wants Antoine Wyatt to touch it a lot. Changing him to tailback does just that. Raymond Priester on the touch this time into the hands of Raymond Foscue, or Tim Foscue rather, at the 30-yard line. Foscue, an interesting story, was at Maryland for 3 years, never played football. Decided to come out this year. Patrick Sapp has been an onlooker today. Will he continue to be an onlooker? There's who might hold the future. Waylon Green out of Yonkers, New York. Hand off straight ahead. Nothing fancy here now for Clemson.
Well, as Mike Hogwood pointed out, from a conversation earlier on the field. You can see right now, after they got that initial first down, Louis Selman comes to the line of scrimmage, and he's not looking at the defense. He's looking at the huddle clock up on the scoreboard. Right now it's at 16 and counting. He'll snap this ball with no more than a second or two remaining on the huddle clock, which is up there right below the 1981 national champions.
3rd down and 9. Huddle clock shows 3. Here's Wyatt. Faced with an onslaught of white and red jerseys. Foscue in on the tackle. Along with Aaron Henney, it's going to be a loss on the play of 3 yards, and it'll bring 4th down on the punting unit back out. So Maryland waits 2 minutes, and they get the ball back.
The only problem with this philosophy, because it still is a 2-touchdown ball game, you're playing not to lose, and if all of a sudden Maryland gets a quick score, now you're forced to get your offense cranked up again after playing the very conservative mode.
Oh, Welch took an extra step on that punt as if he was inviting the roughing call, and it's going to go to Maryland at the 34-yard line. A little double hitch. Brave play for Nelson Welch, a 37-yard kick, and Maryland has the football back, down by 13.
Problem. You haven't found a paint as tough as your family. Solution? Go to Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's has the best brand name paints, including one and only. It's quick, comes with a scrubbable, splatter-resistant finish, and a 15-year guarantee. Plus, Lowe's computer color matching ensures you get the color you want. And nobody beats our prices, guaranteed. So, how do you redecorate without climbing the walls? Lowe's, because Lowe's knows paint.
I am so tired of small portions in restaurants. I know. Women are supposed to like small portions. We're supposed to like shining floors, too. Yeah, right. At least Burger King gets it. Look at their new cheeseburger. 75% more beef than McDonald's. Now you're talking. You add fries and a drink, charge $1.89, and you've got a meal at a price that would satisfy the appetite of any red-blooded American woman. Okay, guys, too.
Burger King. Get your burger's worth.
This guy's amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
He gets tough. He gets tender. He gets close to love. Maybe he even gets close to the truth.
You have someone.
Yes.
Maybe I don't care.
He's wanted by the law and haunted by his past.
Why did you come here? I need my family.
But he'll risk everything to save an entire town from destruction. Russell Wong stars in Vanishing Son 2. Today at 5 on Channel 46.
Last year, no one showed. Not one maker of sports cars anywhere could step up to Pontiac Firebird Formula's challenge to match our standard dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and 275 horsepower, even at almost twice the price. And this year, we're still waiting.
Kevin Foley returns at quarterback for the Maryland Terrapins, who have a 13-point differential to make up here as we get things going in the 4th quarter. 7:53 left to play here at Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, Frank Howard Field in Clemson, South Carolina. Steve Martin, Jack Corrigan, and Mike Hogwood. On site, here's Foley's pass. It is batted. Incomplete. Tony Planton, the true freshman from nearby Pendleton, South Carolina, making the play.
They have alternated quarterbacks this afternoon, Kevin Foley and Scott Milanovich, and the numbers are just about the same, each with a turnover, and each time after the turnover, Clemson came away with a field goal.
Here comes Foley again, hit as he threw. It is picked off. Picked off by Dexter McLean, and he returns it to Maryland territory at the 46-yard line. Geroy Simon on the tackle. McLean's first interception of the season.
Again, the pass was not well thrown, but I don't understand the Maryland receivers. They make no real effort here to try and break up the interception. Granted, the ball's inside. You can see Walt Williams. He stops running. You've got to try and break up the interception, even take the offensive pass interference just to maintain possession of the football.
Instead, Clemson gets it back on the 4th turnover of the day, their 3rd interception. Here's the hands-off, Antoine Wyatt. And Wyatt breaks tackles down to the 34-yard line. A gain of 12. Jermaine Stewart comes up to make the tackle. And Wyatt now making his presence felt all over the field.
This is an all too familiar sight in this ball game and through the last couple of visits to Death Valley for Maryland. In their last 15 quarters here at Death Valley, they have scored a total of 14 points.
But yet they still remain as the team in the ACC with the most wins on this field. Antoine Wyatt heads to the outside and stretches ahead to the 27-yard line. A gain of 6. Tim Brown, Eric Hicks bring him down. But Wyatt, who had 116 yards going into that play, is having himself a great day.
I don't think you'll be seeing much of the wide receiver position for the rest of the 94 season, perhaps for the rest of his Clemson career. He has shown great acceleration, elusiveness, and that other thing that you love to see out of running backs, patience when it's necessary.
Sophomore from Daytona Beach, Florida. Handoff goes to the fullback. This is true freshman Raymond Priester. Dropped the football, but it goes out of bounds. We have a flag down on the play. The ball still remains in Clemson's hands because Priester was the last one to possess it. But let's see what the penalty is going to be. It appears it might be a face mask. Yes, it is. Ball out of bounds at the spot of the fumble at the 21, but it's in Clemson's possession.
Give it to Raymond Priester, who has shown the ability to stay on his feet. Bounces off of Jamie Bragg, and right there A.J. Johnson got a piece of the face mask. So even if Maryland had recovered the fumble, they wouldn't have gotten the turnover.
3 plays and Clemson's inside the 20 at the 16-yard line for what could be a back-breaking score. Under Williams is wide out one side, Brooks the other. Handoff again goes to the fullback.
Well, after being dominated in terms of time of possession for their last 2 conference games against NC State and Virginia, they have owned the clock like a Clemson team of old here this afternoon. Methodical. That's the way the Tigers used to play. They just would wear you into submission.
Robert Jackson in the ball game now for Twain Morgan at the right tackle. Here comes Solomon. Nice foot fake, clears out, settles, and gets him inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Al Wallace and Tim Brown in on the tackle.
Top-ranked Florida playing at Ole Miss, and the Rebels hanging in there. A 28-14 ball game. Duke with the 12-0 advantage over winless Navy. Duke trying to go to 5-0 on the year. Here's the Jefferson Pilot scored line number.
Kids, ask your folks for permission now. Got a timeout.
Yeah, Clemson took timeout. They want to keep the drive. They don't want another field goal, which would again still give you a chance for 2 scores and 2 two-pointers to tie a game.
5:19 left. Clemson up 13-0.
Trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit Jeans from Lee.
In business, there never seems to be enough of it. And the last thing you can afford to do is run out of it. Time. So rest assured, Delta Airlines will help you make the most of it. With over 4,900 flights a day to over 300 cities around the world. And best of all, we'll make sure you arrive relaxed and refreshed with plenty of time to spare. Delta Airlines.
I run my seafood department, and so it were Marie's seafood department, and everything I sell has my name on it. I do have a few customers, and they say, well, I love seafood, but I only eat it out. And I said, well, why is that? And they said, well, because I really don't know how to cook it. I said, give me 5 minutes. I can teach you how to cook anything in this seafood case. I love seafood, and I love to pass that information on to other people. 5 minutes, guaranteed.
You know the kudzu vine. It grows up to a foot a day, and it'll cover and strangle everything in its path. It makes us think of red tape, and that strangles service. At First Union, we hate the "it's not my job" syndrome. The customer wants solutions. So we simplify applications, try not to ask the same question twice. And whenever we can cut red tape, we do, because that's service. And at First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters.
Body language is everything, and that message is clear. Arrest is in order for Jamie Bragg of the Maryland Terrapins. They're tired this afternoon, and Clemson has just worn them down. First and goal from the 9-yard line. Third down. Here comes the handoff to Wyatt. Hit by Settles. Change of direction. Blocked by Solomon, but nice tackle by Wade Inge to send it back to the 12-yard line. So the kick unit comes on third down, on fourth down, and after the loss by Wyatt, but he made it exciting.
Well, and it keeps that flicker of hope alive for Maryland. A touchdown would have ended all doubt.
Welch now with this field goal can take the all-time ACC lead. Out of the hold of Travis Harvey, does not get it. Welch 2 for 3 on the afternoon, hit on 44 and 29-yard kicks, but this little chip shot from about 28 yards does not go.
Tommy West also talked not only that Welch did not make the kick. You know, he's the one that tells the holder that he's ready. Tommy was pointing out to him how much time was left on the huddle clock, when he should have taken more time before he even attempted the field goal. Still keeps Maryland hanging on.
Down 13-0. Foley at quarterback. 5-step drop, and Williams has it in the flats. And it's close to a first down, ridden down by Andre Humphrey, also Mike Barber on the play. They'll mark him down at the 29-yard line. He'll be shy by about a yard.
Maryland still has all 3 timeouts remaining.
But only 4:17 to do anything with it. Second down and 1. Foley to throw. The pass is complete to Williams again. And Williams headed to the sidelines. Gets out of bounds at the 35 after getting the first down. It's a gain of 6. Peter Ford rode him out of bounds. That stops the clock with 4:02 remaining.
Well, that's one way to counter the blitzing. Rather than keep that back in as an extra blocker, you just slide him out underneath, get him the ball, you get some yardage, and hope you can get out of bounds to manipulate the clock.
First and 10. Foley, pass is complete to Mansell Johnson, but Peter Ford is there. It's a very small gain of 3 out to the 38-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 7. Maryland coming out with quick hitters here. Clock moving with 3:43 left. Play clock down to 15. Foley against the twisting defensive lineman. Gets it upfield to G. Roy Simon for a first down in Clemson territory at the 45. Tackled by Brian Dawkins.
That ankle tackle by Brian Dawkins kept Simon from maybe adding another 10 yards to the play. Many other orange jerseys around, but Dexter McLean.
Stop the clock with 3:25, but it restarts. Now the chains are set. Maryland trying to drive for a score. Here's Foley. Hit as he delivers. The pass incomplete, intended for Russ Weaver. Leomont Evans in the vicinity. Big rush was on Foley that time as he threw. Weaver caught an important ball in Maryland's drive in the third quarter.
Well, that interception on the goal line by Peter Ford, a very big one. Maryland had scored there, this would be very interesting right now.
Second down and 10. Foley has time. Now Stevens chases him out. Foley has the first down. And a flag is thrown in late. They say Barber piled on. So this would be a gain of 10 plus 15.
And that's a correct call. Once the quarterback goes into that slide, you have to let him alone. And you could see Mike Barber not only late, it wasn't so much late, Steve, as it was with the helmet. Foley somehow eludes the grasp of Darnell Stevens. Now watch this. He has started to slide, and Barber covers him up around the head area, and that's why they added 15 more.
Penalties on the day for Clemson. That's their 7th. And Barber knew it. As soon as it was done, he felt bad about it. He thought Foley was shooing the football. First and 10 at the 20. Draw play goes to Brian Underwood. Underwood slips 1 tackle, slips 2 tackles, and gets inside the 10 for another first down. Barber making the tackle. Humphreys and Hawkins missed upfield.
The redshirt freshman out of the Bronx in New York with a fine run to get the first down. He broke at least 3 tackles on this play. Mike Barber thought he had him for a couple of yards, bounced off of him, bounced off of Brian Dawkins, and got another Maryland first down. 2.5 to go. First and goal at the 9.
Foley to throw. Blitz is on. Pass incomplete, intended for Mansell Johnson. And Mansell may have run the wrong pattern and saw him say in the end zone, my fault.
Well, it depends on the interpretation of quarterback and receiver in the hot package. When you get a blitzing guy in your area, do you continue all the way through, or do you just stop where he vacated? Down near the goal line, you keep going through to the end zone.
2:22 left. Clock stopped. It'll start again soon. Second and goal from the 9-yard line. Clemson holding on to a 13-0 lead. Pass tipped by Tim Jones, it looks like. Jones coming back off a injured knee in the 3rd quarter. Tipped that ball intended for the end zone.
Big tip because Walter Williams has the inside on Andy Ford. Tim Jones dropping, trying to help out, gets a piece. See how open Walter Williams was? Foley knew it too. He was so close, but Tim Jones comes up big for Clemson on that play.
3rd and goal. Williams, Simon, and Weaver, the wide outs, looking for the corner. They want Weaver. Can't get him. McQueen covering on the play. Russ Weaver one-handed it, but couldn't get it all.
Well, there's the difference in not quite having enough speed. Foley has to throw this ball sooner than he wants to because of the blitz. Throwing that corner route, the flag route, and Weaver just couldn't quite get to it.
They've used about 2 minutes. 1:59 to get down here. It's 2:12 left and moving. 4th and goal. Blitz is on. Pass to the corner. Williams can't get there. Andy Ford, Leomon Evans in double coverage. Clemson takes over.
Andy Ford, the twin brother of Peter, coming up big. Peter had to play early in the game with the interception. Andy Ford here on 4th down. Same pattern. And Ford got up and took it away. Turned his body just enough to avoid any possibility of an interference call. He played the ball and not the man to avoid the penalty.
You look at that angle, Jack, where that ball was thrown. It is looking back right directly into the sun. That might have had a factor there, too. Here's the biggest factor in the game, Anton Wyatt over the 20-yard line and out to the 22. It's a gain of 13, and Clemson will watch time slip away. Maryland with all 3 of their timeouts left, but the clock now just under the 2-minute mark. 133 yards rushing for Antoine Wyatt.
They'll run the play clock, the huddle clock down to 1 second or so.
That time they held Solomon on the sideline for at least 5 seconds of it.
Well, Maryland will start using their timeouts after this first down play, but
here's Solomon, a handoff to Priester, the fullback, picks his way up over the 25-yard line to the 28. There's one of those 3 timeouts now. Stops the clock at the 27-yard line. 1:33 to go. Clemson leading here 13-0. Raymond Priester has a 9-yard touchdown, plus 2 Nelson Welch field goals. Only blemish on the day for Clemson is that Nelson Welch, at least so far, has not been able to become the ACC's leading field goal career man.
For 2 reasons. One, he had a field goal that they took away from him when on a Maryland penalty. They took the first down and then turned it over. And then the one he missed a couple of minutes ago. Mark Duffner's troops will get the week off. And for Tommy West, for the first time this season against an ACC opponent, has shown the rebirth of the Clemson ground game.
Well, there have been some great battles down through the years between Clemson and Maryland for the ACC title, and some of them have happened on this very field. Last time that Maryland won, back November 16, 1985. Pass to the end zone, Farrell Edmonds for the tying score with 1:18 left, and now Dan Plotke getting on the field to kick the field goal after Maryland got the ball back. A 20-yard field goal, and Maryland wins it 34-31 in that game back in 1985, the last time that Maryland won on this football field. They have 10 wins here in Death Valley. Second down, 6 for Clemson. Solomon under center with Priester and Wyatt behind him. This is Priester. Ball looked like it popped loose there for a second. Tim Brown tries to hold him shy of first down.
He's awful close.
And that's good for Maryland, actually, because in effect they may stop the clock for a measurement and won't have to burn a timeout.
Well, it'll start up again, and Clemson will use as much of that huddle clock again.
Bring the chains out for a measurement. Clemson fans pretty happy about this one. 67, actually 68,000 on Parents and Youth Day. You're seeing the latter half of that combination.
This is the last home game for a while. The Tigers go on the road the next 3 weeks. They're between the hedges against the Georgia Bulldogs next week, then at Duke on the 15th of October, and at Florida State on the 22nd before they come home to play 3 of their final 4 games here at Death Valley. And of course the big battle against the Gamecocks to wind up the year on the 19th.
This win, though, gets them a kickstart back to 500 overall, their first conference, if they're able to hold on and win here. They lead it 13-0. Handoff goes to Priester. He's got the first down. Up over the 40-yard line. Had the first down anyway off the measurement, so on first down runs up over the 40. Gain of 7.
Maryland again will take a timeout. They're going to use them all, at least hoping for a miracle of biblical proportions. I think what you have seen here this afternoon is a valiant effort by that Maryland defense to keep this game at 13-0. But I think you've also seen what the absence of Jermaine Lewis has meant to the offense of the Maryland Terrapins. But like Clemson did with a bye week after a bad offensive output against Virginia, Maryland has the luxury of a week off to rest and regroup and retool, and then head to Chapel Hill on the 15th to tangle with the North Carolina Tar Heels, where they have put up large numbers against the Heels in recent years. They've not necessarily come up with wins, but have certainly thrown some scares into the North Carolina faithful.
Now for Clemson, this afternoon's game means a confirmation of all of the work they have done in the 2 weeks since they lost to Virginia, 9-6. They've got to have a good deal of confidence going to Georgia, knowing that the changes that they worked on for 2 weeks have worked. Antoine Wyatt is detailed back of record from here on out, and Raymond Priester getting the carry this time around. We have not seen Emery Smith at all this afternoon. We've not seen Patrick Sapp at all this afternoon. A new regime for Tommy West, and it looks like it's working. The clock moving down, 40 seconds left to play. Maryland with one timeout. Only one more chance to stop this clock before what happens on the scoreboard goes into the books.
Smile a moment ago on the face of Tommy West. This is his first ACC victory as a head coach of the Tigers.
Priester and Wyatt sitting there for Solomon. This is Priester, and Priester's got another first down. Derek Rather brings him down at the 34-yard line. A gain on the play of 13 yards. Actually, more than that. Up over 20 yards for Priester, who now has 81 yards plus on the day. So Clemson closing in on possibly getting 2 players at 100 plus, but it won't matter now. The clock will run down, and this game becomes a matter of record. The Clemson Tigers win it by a score of 13-0. A Raymond Priester 9-yard run and field goals of 44 and 29 yards for Nelson Welch. Already Antoine Wyatt is a celebrity.
Tough day for those two guys. Neither Scott Milanovich nor Kevin Foley able to get that Maryland offense cranked up. So the scoring drought here in Death Valley continues for Maryland. They've been shut out the last 2 years, and in their last 4 visits have scored just 2 touchdowns against the Tigers here at Clemson.
And Mike Hardwood is down on the sidelines with victorious coach Tommy West and friends.
Yeah, I think he's got a good friend right here with him. Boy, this feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels really good. Our team, we've had 2 weeks, and our team's worked really hard, and I'm happy for our players and our assistant coaches.
Let's start first about the offense. Antoine Wyatt, over 100 yards. You said you wanted to get him the ball. You did that, and he really delivered for you.
Yeah, I think he delivered. Antoine's a good player, but I think our offensive line grew up a little bit. And they've been maligned by a lot of people, and I've been on them. But I thought they grew up a little bit today.
And what about your freshman fullback? He running that touchdown rod. He was not to be denied. He really had some determined runs there.
Well, good players make coaches look good, so I thought our players played well.
You said you had to control the clock if you were to win today, and you outpossessed them over 2-1 today. Well, that was the key.
Was it 2-1? That was the key. You know, we had to keep their offense off the field, and our defense did a great job.
What about the defense? We heard that you looked like you were changing up the coverages some. You were really trying to confuse them with some different looks, and that seemed to work.
Well, yeah, but we also got good players on defense that played really hard.
And what about the Clemson crowd? I thought they were into it more today than they may have been in a long, long time. This crowd really came to help you today.
Yeah, that's Clemson today. I mean, there's not a better place in the country for college football.
Well, Tommy West is here. He's home, and he's got a victory for the Clemson Tigers. Congratulations. Steve?
Thank you, Mike. The Tigers are 2-2 now, and more importantly, this is their first Division 1A win. An earlier win came at the expense of Furman, as Antoine Wyatt accepts the accolades of the fans, and he and Mike Hogwood will get together here shortly enough. The Clemson Tigers win it by a score of 13-0. Tommy West heads for the victory celebration. Wyatt heads for more starting assignments with a 100-plus yard day. Clemson 13-0. We'll be back right after this.
Today's Exxon ACC Game of the Week was brought to you by Exxon and their independent dealers and distributors, who invite you to stop by for the reliable performance of Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. Rely on the Tiger. By the Jefferson Pinewood Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. By First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters. By Winn-Dixie, the low-price leader. By Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's knows home improvement. By Burger King, home of Whopper values. Get your burger's worth at Burger King. And by your local Mazda dealers.
Fans file out. They're happy fans filing out to the parking lot here at Death Valley as Clemson pulls off a 13-0 win over the Maryland Terrapins. Well, just what Clemson wanted to do. Control the football, control the clock, run a lot of plays, and put the ball in the hands of Antoine Wyatt.
Well, when we talked to Antoine yesterday, Steve said, well, are you nervous? You feel any pressure? He says, no, I love getting the football. And he certainly exemplified that today. I mean, he was the man like Clemson wanted him to be.
Didn't score, but had 124 some odd yards. Had a big afternoon. Let's get down to the sidelines. He's standing by with our Mike Hogwa.
All right, you are, Steve, and he's a very happy guy right now. A valuable part of this Clemson offense. Antoine, congratulations. 134 yards rushing today. What a performance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me about the game plan going in. You knew you were going to get the ball. What did you think about before the game? Were you up thinking, hey, they're relying on me today. I've got to really make it happen.
Yeah, that's well, I pretty much go in every week thinking that, you know, every player has to do that, you know, want the ball and get the ball, you know, but I think I handled it well, and I'm ready for it next week.
What about this team? You know, people were talking about Clemson, the offense, it doesn't work. They're not moving. They can't score any points. Today, you came out, and Jack Corrigan was talking about, this is the Clemson of old, man. You were just out there just mashing people.
Yeah, we pretty much played straight. We just ran it right down their throats. We are still not satisfied with the amount of points we score, but we'll work on that this week and hopefully get it better against Georgia.
What is the attitude of this team now? You know you're young. You know you're young in the offensive line. You knew you had a lot of work to do, but yet it looked like you were really determined, and you came out with a lot of good spirit today. We were pretty positive all through the season. We know, you know, if you go down, you have to overcome adversity, you know. And we're a pretty good ball team. We're pretty solid. We're like a family, and all us stuck together, and we stuck it out. What about this defense today? You know, when you put some points on the board, and you got that defense pitching a shutout up there, that's pretty strong, and it has to give you guys a little more confidence. It gives us a lot of confidence, you know, because when we come off the field, we know at any time we can go back on. They make an interception, fumble, or stop. I got to ask you, I know, Antoine, you're a great wide receiver. You make a great wide receiver. But I think you're a tailback to stay now in this Clemson offense. What about it? I think so, too. All right, Antoine, again, congratulations on a super game. What's ahead now for this Clemson team? What kind of feeling does a win like this give you? A lot of confidence going against a pretty tough Georgia team? A lot of confidence. You know, this could have made or break our season, so we're pretty happy about this win. I think we're going to go ahead with this. All right, I'll let you go enjoy it for the rest of the day. Antoine Wyatt, what a game he had, Steve.
Thanks, Mike. You know, he said this could have made or broken our season, and really that tells you the importance that both coaches attached to this game coming in.
Well, certainly for Clemson, because they had so much difficulty against North Carolina State and against Virginia with their offense. They knew that they weren't going to be a team that was going to score 30, 40, 50 points a ball game, but they felt they were a team that could control the clock and could score enough points with their defense to be competitive in every game. And in their first two conference games, they had none of that. But by inserting Antoine Wyatt in a tailback, adding Louis Solomon in a quarterback, at least for this game, maybe we should underline that, brought back the Clemson running game of old. Now the quest is to try and make it happen for more than one ball game.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, the Clemson running game of old is what the fans are used to seeing, but it's not what Tommy West wants this team to be eventually, but does an important stepping stone, because now they have the option of getting teams thinking, will they come out and open it up?
Well, the other aspect of moving Antoine Wyatt to tailback as well, because he was an ex-wide receiver, as you get back to greater balance, all right, we can't hand the ball to him or pitch the ball to him. We'll throw it to him out in space, and it's only a 4 or 5 yard pass, which is very safe, and then let him do his thing with the football after he catches it. The ultimate thing they wanted to accomplish, that they accomplished today, was that they didn't have to force Antoine Wyatt into the offense. He became the focal point of the offense, and that's why they were successful.
And a lot of credit, of course, has to go to the offensive line of Clemson. A young offensive line did the job today. Let's take a look at our Burger King players of the game this afternoon. For the Maryland Terrapins, two-way player Jamie Bragg. He was forced to play both defense and offense this afternoon because of the injury to Eric Greenstein.
Well, Jamie Bragg is just one of those throwback guys. You'd like to have him to build around a team, and I'm sure Mark Duffner is going to feel bad when Jamie Bragg finally finishes his Maryland career. And we've been talking about Antoine Wyatt. What a great ball game he had, our Burger King players of the game.
24 attempts, 134 yards. Didn't score, but he had a couple of big runs that assured that Clemson would score at the tail end of them. They had 3 turnovers on the afternoon, actually 4. 3 of them they turned into scores, 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. So it is Clemson beating Maryland this afternoon by a score of 13-0. Let's go to the sidelines right now, and Mike Hogwood is a special guest.
Steve, we're just outside the Clemson locker room with Young here. Your dad was standing on the sidelines. He was part of our broadcast today, helping us with the officials and calling the timeouts and stuff. And I know he had to be pleased watching you play. And what about this offensive line? People have been talking about you for a month. It's young, it's inexperienced, it's the problem with Clemson team. How did that make you guys feel as a group?
Well, you know, we knew we had a lot of pressure on us going into the ball game. We've had a lot of pressure all year long. You know, all summer long it was, you know, the team's going to break or bend on the offensive line. We feel like today we made great strides to being a better offensive line. We got a lot of work to do. Still got to score more points. But I don't know how long we had the ball. It had to be a long time. And as long as we keep doing that with the defense we got, we're going to get a lot better.
What kind of difference does it make having the quickness in the backfield of a Louis Solomon and you got an Antoine Wyatt? The guys who are really getting up there, getting to the holes in a hurry, seem to have made a difference today.
Well, I think it definitely makes a difference. Those guys did a great job. Raymond Priester did a great job at fullback. You know, Wyatt at tailback and Louis at quarterback. You know, if we play hard every day, you know, and have the people we need in there, then we're going to be a good football team.
Coaches, I know, were encouraging to you in that off week, and I also know that you changed some of your blocking assignments, simplified things a little bit, seemed to work. Now as a unit, do you have more cohesiveness, more confidence, ready to go on with the season and make some holes and make some plays for this offense?
Well, I think the main reason we can, you know, we improved today is the fact that we did have cohesiveness. You know, this offensive line's been together the whole year. Nobody's griping, blaming anybody. Yeah, I think it's helped out a lot. Today we came out and tried to play straight up blocking, just block people off the ball, and I think we did that.
I think you did it too. Right. Thanks, Will. Good game today. Congratulations. Steve, Jack.
Thank you, Mike. You know, this is a kid, is a Clemson native. The dream of every young man here at Clemson is to come run down that hill in uniform. This is a kid who sold 2 boxes of programs to get a general admission ticket. I think he's got a free pass. Well, also the fact that his grandfather was an All-American here at Clemson, so you got his grandfather, his dad, and now Will Young playing for the Tigers as well. One of the successes of this program throughout the years, particularly in the leadership set by the legendary Frank Howard. This is a school, this is a program of tradition. Tommy West wants to bring that tradition back to the forefront.
Well, Will Young is the keeper of that tradition today as far as the offensive line is concerned. Next week, our Exxon ACC Game of the Week will take you to Chapel Hill. Georgia Tech travels to Chapel Hill to take on the 18th-ranked Tar Heels. North Carolina's Johnson & Johnson duo looking for another big day, while the Jackets' defense is ready to put the sting on the Tar Heels. That's next week. Georgia Tech at North Carolina from Kenan Stadium. Game time is 12 noon. Crowd heads to the exits here at Death Valley. Clemson beating Maryland 13-0. We'll be back after these messages from your local ACC station.
It's Judgment Day in the 24th century. An unknown enemy. An untested warship. An unforgettable season premiere. On the final frontier, there's only one place for new adventure. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. New season, no limits.
Sunday night at 7 on Starbase 46.
Your local Ford dealer's factory-authorized clearance is in its final days. Just announced 2.9% financing on Ford Taurus. 2.9, the lowest Taurus finance rate of the year. Act now, save now. 2.9% or $750 cash back on the #1 selling car in America. Drive any new Taurus, just 2.9% for up to 48 months. Now, don't wait any longer.
All these Fords are moving.
Hurry, see your local Ford dealer now.
Oh, isn't that cute?
How precious.
So tiny.
And such cute little buns.
What's its name?
It's our junior burger, lady.
There's nothing junior on Checkers' new Monster Value menu. Everything's so big, you won't believe it's only 99 cents each. Quarter-pound champ burgers, big deluxe chili dogs, quarter-pound Cajun burgers, and more. Checkers' 99-cent Monster Value menu. It's a great-tasting monster-sized deal. Checkers, one taste and you're ours.
Clemson evens their mark at 2-2 with a 13-0 victory over the Maryland Terrapins. They did it with a lot of weapons, especially a great defense led by Wardell Rouse, among other people. And that is not Wardell Rouse, but like many here at Death Valley, they'd like to be Wardell Rouse, who had a great outing this afternoon, as well as the entire Clemson defense. And standing by with him right now is our Mike Hogwood.
Yes, I think this is Wardell Rouse right here. Hey, Wardell, great game today. The defense pitched a shutout. That has to feel really good.
Yes, it does feel good. I mean, we came out, a lot of people thought we was going downhill and stuff, so we just had to come out and prove ourselves that we are a great team and that we can play in this league.
Maryland, a high-powered offense. I know one of the keys today was to get and putting pressure on the passer. You really did that.
Right. I mean, we came out, we prepared ourselves very well this week. We did a lot of little twists and little stunts in the inside to try to cool down the tackles, outside rush and stuff, outside pass protection, just to get them worried about inside. Then we got outside and got a lot of sacks.
Jack Corrigan was making the point during the game that you guys were freed up to rush, and we were able to rush more guys in the box because of the excellence of your defenders, your cover guys with the Fords and Dexter McLean and all the secondary people back there. You know that they're pretty good cover guys, and that must give you a little more confidence to free up to rush in there.
Right. We have great guys back in the secondary. I can't symbolize just one. All of them are great athletes and stuff, and they did a great job today. And, holding the receivers up, making the quarterback hold the ball just that extra second longer, so that will cause us to get to the ball a lot.
Well, you had Louis Solomon, Antoine White on offense, and they seemed to put a little bit of life into the O side of the football. And I know for you guys on defense that was a good and welcome sight to see.
Well, it was good because when Louis and Antoine got back there, they created a lot of drives and stuff, which kept them off the field and kept our legs real fresh. So it was great when we went out there on first down, so we was ready to go just by every play.
What about this crowd today? They were awesome, weren't they? Tommy West said this was finally a Clemson crowd, the one that he came and waited to hear.
Well, the crowd responded to what we play, and we played great, and so the crowd just came alive and showed, how the Tiger spirit is supposed to be.
Antoine, congratulations.
Thanks.
Good game. That's Antoine Wyatt. And Wardell Rouse, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm starting to misname players now. Wardell Rouse, great defensive player. And let me tell you about the excitement here today. And one of the neat things about Clemson that you don't see at a lot of other schools, if you follow out here, look at all the touch football games that are going out here on the field some 20, 25 minutes after the game. These are people who live from all ends of the state of South Carolina and upstate in Georgia and lower North Carolina. Big-time Clemson fans out here trying to pretend like they're Nelson Welch kicking a field goal or Louis Solomon and throwing a pass. This is kind of neat, what really college football is all about, and it's been a long tradition here at Clemson, and people are out here and really enjoying the win and having a great time. It's kind of like a picnic here after the game, Steve.
We've seen how the Hogman throws the football. He'll be over there any minute now trying to get in one of those touch tackle games.
That tight spiral that Mike throws so very well. But you talk about the noise level in this stadium. Twice it had a factor on Maryland. Once it actually forced Foley to throw an interception.
Because he did down at the goal line. Turned out to be a big play. The Clemson tradition again, talking about that extra man because of the crowd, and you get into that end of the field where it's closed in a little more because of the end zone bleachers. I don't know if he hurried himself because of the noise or the receiver wasn't sure of the route because of the noise, whatever. Turnover on the goal line. If Maryland scores there, then the fourth quarter becomes a real nail-biter.
Yeah, it does. Let's take a look at the stats, though. They show it was a wide-open Clemson affair, especially when you look at rushing yardage. They came into this game hoping to rush and control the ball on the ground, and 294 yards makes it in my book.
Their best rushing game of the year after rushing for only 81 yards in their first two conference games. They get nearly 300 yards this afternoon, and while it ended up not quite being a 2-to-1 dominance that they had of the clock in the first half, still very clearly more than 11 minutes the advantage in terms of time of possession. And when you force 4 turnovers, that coupled with the time of possession is why you win football games.
Well, you look at Maryland now. They have a week off. What adjustments did they make prior to coming in and taking North Carolina on the 15th?
Well, it almost seemed like, Steve, first of all, that, and I'm not sure what Mark Duffner and his staff are going to do with their team, but it seemed to me that they might be better served just taking a couple of days off because you've got all that double sessions in preseason. You jump right into the schedule and you play 5 games in 5 weeks, and classes are going and you are fatigued. Maybe you take a couple of days off, regroup, get yourself going, and then take the 8 or 9 days to prepare for North Carolina. As you see their schedule the rest of the way, after North Carolina, they come home for 3 straight games against Georgia Tech, Tulane, and NC State. So you want to try and gather the momentum again to get back to Byrd Stadium and have a chance in front of your home crowd to make this the best season yet in the Duffner era.
Well, speaking of North Carolina, they'll be our featured opponent next week on our ACC Game of the Week against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Back with a final word from Death Valley right after this.
everyone tells you that time is money. We think time is a lot more valuable. That's why at First Union it matters so much how we handle your time. You need a fast response? You got it. Okay. You need account information? Call anytime, 24 hours a day. You want time to explore refinancing your home? We won't rush you. The point is, it's your time, and that matters. And at First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters.
I run my seafood department, and so it were Marie's seafood department, and everything I sell has my name on it. I do have a few customers, and they say, well, I love seafood, but I only eat it out. And I said, well, why is that? And they said, well, because I really don't know how to cook it. I said, give me 5 minutes. I can teach you how to cook anything in this seafood case. I love seafood, and I love to pass that information on to other people. 5 minutes, guaranteed.
Back at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, the Tigers win it 13-0 over the Maryland Terrapins. And, of course, next week we have North Carolina and Georgia Tech. Interesting ball game there. Both teams in action today. Georgia Tech, at least North Carolina in action today at SMU.
Well, North Carolina playing at SMU will be our first look to see the Tar Heels, and Georgia Tech playing in a couple of minutes at NC State. They're trying to get it together. I'm looking forward to seeing Mac Brown's team, who gave a very good effort against Florida State last Saturday. They're hoping to get the win today and bounce back and be a contender, not only in the conference, but in the top 10 nationally.
So that's how it went this afternoon. We'll be at Chapel Hill next week, but today the Clemson Tigers even their record at 2-2 with a 13-0 win over the Maryland Terrapins. For Jack Corrigan and Mike Hogwood, I'm Steve Martin, thanking you for joining us this afternoon as you see some of the fine people who brought you this afternoon's telecast from Death Valley. Of course, Al Littlejohn, our stage manager, our statistician, Steve Johnson, and our spotter, Ginger Littlejohn, here at Clemson. Always a great crew to bring you the pictures of ACC football this afternoon. The Maryland Terrapins have an open week. For Clemson, it's between the hedges to take on Georgia as the Tigers win today by a score of 13-0. Next Saturday, Georgia Tech at North Carolina, and you'll see it at 12 noon. Jefferson Pilot Sports production staff outfitted by Lee Apparel, the brand that fits. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football.
It took 80 years to get this big. It's Kessler's 80th anniversary store-wide sale operation. Find ladies' coordinating sweater tops and rayon print skirts, sale $8.88 each. And men's bright nylon jog suits, sale $22.88. Plus quilted bedspreads, all sizes, on sale only $25. And Big Boys team sponsored fleece tops, sale $5.88.